Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm your host RT, and today we're going to be playing Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting for the arcade. And today I want to play through the game, but I also want to take you on a journey of introduction to fighting games. If you know how to play fighting games, I mean, this will be, you know, what I'm saying, this will be a common sense for you. But I just want to give. Now, I'm no expert by no means. I mean, I do play pretty good at fighting games. I don't think I'm a pro level player, but I'm pretty decent at the game, fighting games. So what I want to do is, while we play through the game, I want to explain to you a lot of terminologies in the FGC, which is the fighting game community, and also kind of make you understand fighting games if you're new to them or you just never understood them, kind of what the terminology means and what strategies you usually do when you play a fighting game. So we'll just pick, we'll start and we'll just go with Ryu. He's a standard character. And as we fight the characters, I will show you guys some insight on what the character does. Now, we got Ken here at the beginning, and he's kind of built like Ryu in a way. They used to be palette swaps. And what you see, my main strategy that I want to do is I want to control this space right here. This is the space. I want to make sure that I'm controlling that. And Ryu does that great with his fireball. Probably the best in the game, in this version of the game anyway. And then Ken, he kind of can do the same thing in some ways, but they did differ them. His is more about, I guess, speed, if you will, and he kind of can do everything Ryu does, just not as good. Ryu hits harder, but Ken's advantages come with his better dragon punch in this game. Fireballs are a little less, but he does have a good dragon punch, which is kind of broken in this game if you ask me. And obviously he's not doing too much here because this is the first fight. And one thing to note with this game, as fights do go along, the enemies do get a lot more challenging. So, but back to Ryu though, that's his main space. Is his game plan is to wear you down with the fireballs and control that space, and when you jump, anti-air. That's his main thing. And what I mean when I say anti-air is when somebody jumps, like she's perfect for anti-airing. So how she's in the air all the time, that's an anti-air. So I'm gonna throw this fireball. She'll probably jump on her own because she just jumps a lot. But normally, now she's trying to battle for space now. So normally she'll jump over a fireball, so to speak. And when she does, our game plan is to knock her out the air when she jumps towards you. But she'll jump towards you a lot anyway. Now, one thing to explain, see how she throws fireballs back? When you throw a fireball, you are vulnerable to a counterattack. And a counter for fireballs is jumping over them and attacking. Now, her fireball in this game is slow and it's not that good. Later games, she actually has decent fireballs. But going back to Chun-Li, her main strategy, we'll let her run around for a little bit. Her main strategy is to get in close, and she's fast, so not really close, but kind of just poke you to death. That's her main thing. And we're gonna kill her. But her main thing is to kind of come in fast, get pokes, and keep you out. Her ground game, and when I say ground game, what I mean is basically if we're in a neutral state, our attacks, right? So normally the way it should work is if she wasn't jumping so much, because it's a computer. If it was a person playing this, it'd be a lot harder because as I can control space with the fireballs, Chun-Li controls up close space with her fast attacks and her long range. But since it's the computer, they're not going to do that. But that's her archetype. Hers is usually a fast character build. That's usually a prominent thing in fighting games. So if you're somebody who likes fast characters and poking in the ground game, then she'd be a good choice for you. And she's actually pretty good in this game. Not her best incarnation, but she's decent. Now Zangief, he is a Grappler archetype, and his main goal is to just get in close and do damage. If you're playing a Grappler, you have to have a level of patience because Grapplers usually tend to be slow, and their strategy is to just get in and overwhelm you. Once they get, they're going to take some damage getting in, but once they get in, they're overwhelm you. Generally, a Grappler type, they'll have some decent neutral tools. What I mean by that is decent neutral attacks, like their punches and kicks will be okay, but their main bread and butter is getting in close and then just overwhelming you. Now Zangief in this game, honestly, I think in the whole Street Fighter 2 series, except for Street Fighter 1 or Street Fighter 2 Vanilla, he's broken, the most broken character in the game because of a programming glitch. But outside of that, not too great, my opinion. But That's just my opinion. But yeah, in later games, Zangief is pretty good. Again, you can't. And then one thing I will say while I'm talking about this is broken characters. And what I mean by broken characters is each character should be, in a perfect world, should be balanced. Okay, Zangief, a broken character would be, let's say you had Zangief that's slow, has high, can take a lot of punishment, has high vitality and strong output. But if you gave him speed and a fireball, he'd be considered broken because he's doing everything every other archetype does better. So he'd be a broken character. So you have to be careful when you're creating a game, the balance. Now let's move on to Dhalsim. Now his job, his archetype is basically a zoner, and it's different types of zoners. You have ones that throw fireballs to keep you out, and you have ones like him who usually their whole game plan is zoning. Okay, and what I mean by zoning is he's supposed to stay back like he is here and control space like he's trying to do. What he has is long attacks, long range attacks. They don't hit as hard as most characters, but at the same time, they do keep you out. So to play a character archetype like him, you have to have a lot of patience, you have to have an understanding of the game, and you have to be calm under pressure because you don't want anybody next to you, okay? You want to keep them out. That's your main goal as a zoning character like Dhalsim, is to keep your opponent out. And that can be challenging, believe it or not. So usually zoners tend to have long reaching attacks, maybe like fireballs, or you could have a fireball zoner. Like Ryu can be considered a zoner, okay, because that's his main attack, just keeping him out like that. So, yeah, so Ryu can be considered a zoner. Anybody that kind of keeps you out. So to play Dhalsim, even at higher, new modern games like Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5, Street Fighter 6, it does take a certain type of person to play that character. And then once you it takes a while to master him, but once you master him, he can be unstoppable, Dhalsim. But you gotta have a certain type of person to play that character. Now Ryu, and this is considered a mirror match, okay, because we got the same character. And what a mirror match is basically if we both got the same character in the game. And some people don't like mirror matches. They don't bother me too much, but at the same time, a mirror match is one of the things where if you got the same character and you lose, then you have to blame it on skill, okay? And I think that can hurt a lot of people's ego. That just means they outplayed you for whatever reason because you guys got the same character and the same abilities. So for you to lose a mirror match is like, you know, that's all on you. Okay. So Ryu is like, you know, basically, like I said, a zoner type character. What the computer I feel is doing wrong, he tries to zone a little bit, but comes in too close. But one thing with Ryu though, especially in later games and even this game, you can play, they're flexible and they're called Shoto characters. So anybody that throws a fireball for the most part and has a dragon punch, they're considered a Shoto. And there are different types. Back in the day they were kind of limited, but nowadays you can have different kinds, and they're like basically the he's gonna dragon punch. They're like basically the bread and butter kind of characters. I mean, they're usually safe, they're usually balanced, okay? They're not great at anything, they do everything pretty good, but they're not masters at anything. And you can play them. What's good about a Shoto character, you can play it any way you want. If you want to be aggressive, you can. If you want to be passive and defensive, you can. So they give you a lot of flexibility, and that's generally a good character, in my opinion, if you're new to fighting games to start with, because they pretty much play the same in every game. Now, one thing we'll go with Honda. He's weird because he is kind of a heavy damage character. He is. Oh shit. Ooh. He is slow, but he hits hard, and he's kind of his own archetype. He's weird. Okay, I don't know what category you'd even put him in. Let me know in the comments. I don't know. He's just kind of his own thing. Not really a grappler. He has grappler abilities, but then he does have like let me try to take him down because he's now the strategy here, since I can't meet him head on because he hits too damn hard, it's kind of zone him, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm just keeping him out. Okay, I'm not trying to engage him. I'm just keeping him out with fireballs. And the plan is when he jumps, not anti-air him. And when I say anti-air, like I said earlier, that means it's knocking him out the air. So that's the plan with this guy, because he's just, especially the computer, once they get on that, when they get close, they just do whatever they want. So you kind of want to keep them away, like I'm doing here. Oh, now he's close. He might pull some shit out of his ass. Okay, so we kind of got him there. But yeah, Honda's weird. He's kind of got his own thing going.
Round 3, fight.
In later games, they did kind of make him a grappler. He just kind of bled over. Like Street Fighter 5, I'd call him probably a grappler. Or Street Fighter 6, I mean. And even 5, I'd probably call him a grappler there. Here, he's kind of, he does have a regular throw, and he does hit hard, but, and I'm guessing he has more stamina than the average person. But, and we'll try zoning again. So see how we're down in life, and he still might kill me, I ain't gonna lie. But we can kind of try to keep him out and try. The goal here is to keep him out. Oh, yeah, that didn't go well. Okay, well the goal here was to keep him out in anti-air, and I was trying to talk and do too much at the same time, so I kind of paid for that one. So this time we'll just focus in, and just in this game I'll just zone him out and give you a master class in what I should have did the first time, just talking too much. One thing you could do, if you're playing a regular person, now a computer, like, they input react, so fireballs aren't as effective as it would be a regular person. You really can't trick a machine. They know when you're gonna throw the fireball. But one thing that's cool at Ryu, or most shows in general, is you can stagger your fireballs, and that's kind of a more advanced technique, but it kind of gives you, kind of how I did right there, you kind of get them set up to jump, and then you throw a slow fireball afterwards, like that. And that will work on an actual human. That's more of an advanced strategy in some ways. But yeah. We're gonna keep going because can't really, this guy takes a little bit of concentration. Not because he's great, he just hits you a couple times and that's pretty much game over. Now our plan is to stagger the speed of the fireballs with this guy. And we'll take a timeout. But anyway, yeah, I did end up losing that one game. But anyway, yeah. That's another thing with zoning strategies is the speed of your fireballs. But that's now you're getting into, I won't say frame data, but I don't want to overwhelm you guys. But yeah, that's one strategy you can do to kind of change the timing on your fireballs. All right, so Honda kicked our ass. I hope not to lose again. I shouldn't, but I think I got too carried away talking. So one thing I did appreciate about the older games like this, they did have bonus stages. And let's talk about, I don't know if I already talked about it, but character matchup. So when you hear somebody say character matchup, what they mean is, if they say, oh, it's a 5-5, or they say like it's a 7-3, what that means is that all characters on here aren't balanced, right? So if you have a person, two people play the same character, highest level, depending on the advantages and disadvantages the characters have on each other will depend the matchup. So that means out of 10 games, this character has, let's say it's a 7-3, out of 10 games, the person who has 7 will win the match 7 times out of 10. But that's at the highest level. I mean, generally, you'll have low level characters that'll have cheap stuff, and at a low level it can be abused, and at a higher level it can be exploited. So if you're like just starting fighting games, just take that with a grain of salt when they say 5-7 or 5-5 or 8-2 or whatever. You can, and even with 8-2, at the highest level you can still win. It's just a metric number. So that's what they mean when they say that. Now Blanka, his archetype is kind of a he's again another weird one. He's like fast, because you got to remember back in these days, guys, characters they really didn't have, at least I didn't think, and I could be wrong, like archetype styles. They just had people that did certain things, and it was kind of primitive nowadays to probably primitive to what it is nowadays as far as a cut and dry archetype like they got now. But his job, at least in this game, the way I played him, get in, because Blanka does hit pretty good, and he has a lot of like links, and that's another term I'll explain. Links are like when you put two moves together with perfect timing. Gives you a link, not a combo. A combo is automatic if you do it, but a link you have to actually have timing. So they sound similar, but they're actually way different. And Guile is a zoner as well. That's just always been Guile's strategy. It's very rare that, now some people can do it, but most times Streetfighter 6 anybody can be aggressive, but generally Guile tends to be a zoner, and his whole game plan is to keep you out with how Dhalsim did it with limbs. Guile does it with sonic booms, and what makes him so great is he has a decent anti-air, or a good anti-air if you will, and on top of that, recovery time. So Guile's recovery time after he throws a sonic boom is really, really good. Like Ryu, I have to recover a few frames when I got my arms out after I throw the fireball. Guile, his is almost instantaneous, and which makes his fireball game really good. Now, what would make Guile broken in a sense? If Guile could like throw fireballs like Ryu could, Guile would be considered broken. What makes him even, or at least makes him at least fair in some ways, is charge moves. And another thing to talk about with that's part of the balancing as well, is the type of moves you got. Now Zangief, for example, he has a spinning pile driver that does hella damage if you get hit by it. Imagine if that was just one button to press that, okay? The way you do it is a 360 motion, and it can be, once you master it, it's not too hard to do. You can do it when you need it. But for the most part, just to walk up and do it in range, that'd be broken. So they have to balance it out. So Guile, his projectile, even though it's better than Ryu's, he has to charge and wait for it. You can't just throw it out when he wants, unless you're the computer. Now the computer can do whatever the hell they want, but for the average player, you just can't throw. You can, even with perfect timing, and they even reward that in Street Fighter 6 with perfect when you throw a sonic boom, because it can be hard to do, as opposed to okay. It can be hard to do as opposed to just throwing sonic booms and throwing them perfectly, frame perfect is what they call it. So let's talk about frames while we're talking here. A frame is considered like how many animation moves, kind of like if you're watching a movie, how many frames go. A frame is how long it takes for a move to come out and how long it's active. So the shorter your frames are for moves, the better off you are, the faster they come out. And there's different types of frames. You got recovery frames. Okay, so that was bad. Let's take this guy down. His thing, he doesn't really have an archetype either. Kind of. He kind of falls into this weird hybrid of stuff. He could be, you can call him a bunch of things. His I think if you pick him, his is kind of get close and overwhelm you with combos, I would think. I really didn't play Bellrock in this version because he kind of sucked, but I think it was just a bad design for him. Yeah, he kind of sucked in this game. I think his come up would be Street Fighter 2 Turbo. He was a beast there because he had that headbutt, and his super was just so stupid. But yeah. So I really don't know what to put Bellrock in. Boxer, I don't know what you'd even archetype you give him. Okay, and Another thing is invincibility frames. So what that means is how I do when I like on this game, I think this is one of the best versions. This one and probably vanilla Street Fighter 4, their Dragon Punch, Ryu and Ken, because they have invincibility frames when they were in the air, and it was instant. Now Vega, he'd be considered, I'd call him a zoner in a way, because like I said, he has some of the things as Chun-Li has as well, but at the same time, he has this long range, so I consider him a zoner, kind of keep you out with that claw. So you can consider him a zoner, I think. Ooh. All right, so yeah, him, I'd say a fast zoner and stuff like that, but you can play him like, I don't even know if you can play him aggressively, but you can kind of rush, you can be a rushdown character. Oh, let's talk about rushdown characters. So rushdown characters, I don't know if you, maybe like more like, in this game, maybe Chun-Li, maybe rushdown? Because she kind of has to get in to do her damage, but she does kind of do pokes as well. So I don't know if she's a true rushdown character. I don't know if they even had rush. Let me see. The cast in this game. Now you could make like Ryu a rushdown character if you'd like. Ken's more like a rushdown character. That's a perfect example. I'd say he's the closest thing to a rushdown we got. He's not really that great in this game as far as rushdown. Now he's great with his Dragon Punch, but as far as like rushdown, I don't know, because his moves are similar to Ryu. They really didn't. They were different, but they weren't super different at the time. In Bison, that'd be a perfect example of a rushdown character, and we'll see him later on. Sagat is a zoning character, probably the best fireballs in the game. No, probably two. He definitely has the best fireballs in the game. He has a Dragon Punch. He's similar to Ryu in a lot of ways. But he does play a lot different. So, I mean, so you have to take that, Sagat and Ryu, they do have different game plans. They have the same game plan, but Ryu does, I think it has better normals in some ways, but Sagat definitely has better fireballs and a much better zoning game. All right, so let's concentrate a little bit. Sagat's wearing my ass out. Yeah, but Sagat definitely a zoner. Dude, look how good his fireballs are. This is probably, in my opinion, best version of Sagat ever. Well, with the exception of vanilla Street Fighter 4, he was even worse. Well, I don't know, he might be more broken in his games as opposed to Street Fighter 4 vanilla. He was busted in that game. Yeah, look at his fireballs. They're like stupid. But I think Ryu has better combos and stuff like that. So they got their strengths and weaknesses. You can combo a little better with Ryu. Sagat, he's a little slower with his moves, and they're kind of, but they do have a more reach. But fireball game, Sagat hands down all day. And obviously Ryu has a better Dragon Punch than Sagat because Ryu has full invincibility. You can't knock him out of it. Like you can, yeah, you can't knock him out of his Dragon Punch. So Dragon Punch, definitely Ryu has a better one. At all Dragon Punches in the game, obviously Ken has the best one, but Ryu's is pretty good. Sagat is pretty decent. It has good priority, but you can knock him out of it. All right, so next up, so we actually got Bison, and this would be considered a rushdown character. Just good speed, and you don't have, and believe it or not, in fighting games, you don't have to have good speed to be a rushdown character. The computer just makes him bad, but actually Bison is really good in this game. What hurts him kind of is the floaty jumps. His jump can be a little floaty. Oh, that was bad. Okay, let's give Bison a little more attention because he's kind of kicking my ass there. And you can basically zone him. That's the main strategy, is to zone Bison. When he jumps, get your dragon punches in. So he's pretty easy. Just keep doing this over and over. I was just trying something different. And he'll usually rebound with that punch. He'll get a few hits in here and there, but you'll be ahead on the life. And yeah, if he got a stomp and went off, he'd probably be in better shape. But since you can, since he always does that, the hardest part is the beginning of the round because Bison's so fast. He can clear so much range and he can lock you down. That's the hardest part with him, Bison. But once you get your fireballs going, you're in pretty good shape. I spoke too soon. Yeah, I'm probably in trouble here once I get the fireball game going. Yeah, that's bad. Okay. So yeah, they did give him a little bit more recovery than the old vanilla Street Fighter 2. So we died twice, which is god awful. But normally I get through this thing without dying at all. But since my concentration is a little split, which I'm not making excuses, and still played terrible this playthrough. But you know, it is what it is. Now, one thing we do want to try to do here is, so what I'm gonna do this time is just space the fireballs, so we'll be good to go. So if I space fast and then short, it'll kind of stop him from doing that. He'll still jump, but we might do better off with stopping the jump, or stopping him hitting us with that head stomp. He still does it. So what I'm doing here, I'm throwing a short fireball than a fast one. Now he'll do chip damage. But I'm throwing a short one when he blocks it to kind of stun lock him, and then it gives me more time to throw that fast one out. So when he's in the air, I can anti-air. That's my strategy. Like that, stagger the speed of the fireballs. Now you can do two short ones, but I prefer doing the short and the long, and it kind of keeps them at bay. So for me, that playthrough was terrible because I actually lost 2 matches. Normally, if I'm just fully concentrated, I should be good to go through without losing, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, so that's pretty much, while we're waiting on the ending, we could talk about a little bit more about fighting games in general. I feel like fighting games are, like, to me, very personal because I feel like they let you express yourself. And what I mean by that is the character usually become one with the character. So you can have a whole choice, especially in more modern fighting games where it's not as primitive as this one, where actually the characters are more fleshed out and they more fit your play style. So when you pick a character, it's like reading a book. You have different types of characters, and all of them can be good, in my opinion. It's just which path do you want to master? Do you want to be the grappler? Do you want to be the rushdown character? Do you want to be the zoner character? Or hybrid characters? Sometimes they got hybrid characters that do a little bit of everything. They don't do it great, but they do a little bit of everything. So fighting games, I feel like, is an extension of you and your character, and really gives you the option to you know, do whatever you want and experiment. And it's not just because the character is designed that way, archetype, they optimally play that way. That's the optimum way you could play the character, but you can always diverse and make a character a certain way, you know, however you want to play the character. So fighting games is too much to put into this small video, the science and the everything behind them, but this just gives you a little bit of hope that it kind of at least get you thinking about how a fighting game is played, how characters are somewhat designed. And I know it was a kind of a real short window, but yeah, that's all. That's the main thing. I mean, plus I like playing Street Fighter, so yeah, guys. But let me know in the comments what you thought about Street Fighter 2. Did you understand archetypes and everything at the time? Because I sure didn't. I just learned this probably within like maybe later into the mid 90s. I started to understand a little bit about archetypes. We just did things back in the day in Street Fighter 2 because it worked. So there was a science behind it. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Let me know in the comments your experience with Street Fighter and fighting games in general. And with that, as always, take care of yourself, protect your inner peace. God bless you, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.